Hello, my dear ones. This should be relatively short because I'm very tired and I still have a ton of stuff to be doing today. So I take this opportunity to vent out or to rant or whatever the word is, venting or ranting. Or have you ever had the experience of a monk venting out or ranting? Well, if you haven't, this is it. I am finding it so difficult, so increasingly, crushingly difficult to face the hypocrisy that we have towards ourselves. I'm not even going to talk about the hypocrisy we have towards others, but the hypocrisy that we are able to project onto our own minds, the hypocrisy with which we approach ourselves and the lies we tell ourselves. I've heard so many people in the last 2 weeks talking to me about love. Oh, I love my husband. Oh, I love my wife. Oh, I love my sister and my brother. I love him, but... when you say, I love but, that simply means that you do not love. If there is a but there, if there is a limitation there, if there is a condition there, then the love with which you love is not the love with which Christ commands us to love. Because Christ's love leads to the cross. And there is no limitation there. Christ's love leads to the cross, to your cross, the one who says, I love, not to the cross of the one whom you claim you love. Because if you want to crucify the one whom you claim you love, then you are not a lover, you are a murderer. Love takes you onto the cross. And love requires patience, and it requires that you accept and you welcome in your heart the fact that you will die in this process. If you do not want to die for Christ, if you do not want to die for love, for Christ, God who is love, then at least own up to it. Don't be such a hypocrite before your own conscience. Call yourself by the names that actually define you. Don't call yourself before your own conscience a lover. Someone who loves. I love my husband, but. Or I love my sister, but. Love kills. About, I don't even remember, 10, 12 years ago, we published our first booklet, which is still available on our website as On Prayer. And it's by far, I think, the one that people loved most. But initially that booklet was not called On Prayer. It was called Killer Prayer. But people were so scandalized by the name that when we ended up reprinting it, and we've reprinted it 3 or 4 times so far, we changed the name from Killer Prayer to On Prayer. Love, true love, and prayer, true prayer, will kill you. And this is not something to run away from as a Christian. This is something to run away towards, because this is the only chance that from the sinner that you are, you may end up evolving into the saint you were created to be. This process of being killed by love, by prayer, is the only chance we have to get from the hell of the nothingness from which we were created to the point where we can be co-beings, one with the being of God, living the divine life. There's no way you can get there and hold on to who you are. If self-preservation is your concern, Call yourself that. You are a human being, concerned and preoccupied with self-preservation. You are not a Christian. You may want to be a Christian, you may strive to be one, you may be in the process of being one, but my brother and my sister, you are not one. As long as your love is conditioned, especially when it comes to those with whom you are united in a sacrament, like in a marriage, or a sacrament of the heart, like a long, deep friendship, or in a community, a monastic community, especially with these people, as long as your love is conditioned by elements of self-preservation, then you're not loving anyone except yourself. That's just self-love masquerading as love. Think about it logically. I love my brother, but when his presence makes me feel uncomfortable, I want him out of here. What does that mean? Is that love of your brother, or is that love of yourself? And when the presence of your brother is no longer serving you to make you feel like a pretty little kid, to make you feel good about yourself, when that doesn't happen anymore, then your self-love is not served anymore. So then the limitation comes in, then the walls come in, and you are left with what you've always had, your self-love and self-preservation, and you see clearly that that which you thought you had, you never had. Namely, love of your sister, of your brother, of your husband, of your wife, of your friend, in the name of Christ. If you want to become something like that, then this, the ball of clay, has to die. The only way I can turn a ball of clay into that is by making it disappear, by submitting it to a different will, the will of the potter, the will of the creator. And as imperfect as this image or metaphor is, it expresses very well what is happening to us in the process of our salvation, God willing. We are nothing but clay. This is nothing. It is nothingness. But within myself, I have the potential to become God-like. Just like this ball of clay has within itself the potential to become any of those pots. But for this to happen, I have to make this disappear, and it has to submit to my will of as the creator in order for that to come out of this. If that doesn't happen, that ball of clay will die just a ball of clay. Just like if you don't allow your creator to turn you from the nothingness you are into the saint he has created you to be, the saint who is your true self, your only real, authentic vocation. If that does not happen, if you don't allow your creator to kill you in this process of love, if you don't allow your creator, by following him, to take you on the cross of love, things are so obvious, then you will die exactly who you are. The nothingness that we are is what's going to face God on Judgment Day. And that nothingness will be what survives in eternity. Love, prayer, kill. They kill your old self so that the new you, the new Adam in you, the real man in you, whether you're a man or a woman here, the real man in you is only visible on the path to the crucifixion, on the path to Golgotha, and it becomes fulfilled. That potential becomes fulfilled on the cross. Don't keep on lying to yourself, my sister and my brother. Don't keep on surrounding yourself and lying to yourself, being hypocritical with yourself, creating these veils and shadows and confusion around you, just to keep on holding on to your self-love, the selfish, self-destructive self-love. Because that self-love will lead you nowhere except back into the arms of the nothingness from which we've been created. It is only by embracing the fact that you must die for your brother and your sister in small steps. In small steps. It is only in this process that you may survive this condemned, this already judged and condemned version of yourself, and become the saint whom God created you to be. I've seen very, very few instances of love, true love, in my entire life. And I include here the hundreds or thousands of confessions or people I've met in confession. Husbands and wives, mothers and fathers, children and parents, monks and nuns, friends. There are very few traces of true love in this world. And what we call love is love, but it's the love that leads to damnation. It is self-love, motivated by self-preservation, holding on to ourselves, holding on to our lives as they are here in this fallen state of sinfulness. And Christ could not be clearer that we need to die to ourselves in order to be saved. And we need to lose ourselves and lose our lives in order to be saved. This is not me being a mad human being or a mad monk, giving witness or teaching you foreign, alien things. These are the words. These are the teachings of the gospel. These are the words and the teachings that came out not of my sinful mouth, but from the divine mouth of God Himself. There comes a moment in our lives when you just have to just get your lazy spiritual bum off the ground and start walking towards the cross. Because time goes by like this, and the more you delay, even that tiny little step, the more you delay it, the weaker you get, the heavier every move gets, and then it can become impossible if you just do not force yourself. Remember the words of Christ Himself. The kingdom is taken by violence. Not violence that we do to others, but violence to the old man in me, so that the new man in me may be born. I have nothing but love for you, my brother and my sister. But sometimes a good ranting, if that's the word, is what is needed. Because you can pamper people for a very, very long time. And you don't do it because you are weak or because you don't know what to tell them. I know what to tell you. But I also know that until you make the decision to hear me, if I am to tell you what I have to tell you and what is salvific for you, until you open yourself to my love for you, then what I have to tell you, although it is the truth, might just crush you. So I don't tell you. And slowly you're surrounded by silence. The silence of the voices that are supposed to be leading you towards God. And when that silence becomes permanent, what then? May God bless every single one of us, whoever you may be, wherever you may be, whatever your struggle, your weakness, your sin, your desire and your hope may be. What is for your salvation, may Christ bless in you, fulfill in you, and multiply in you. And what is not for your salvation, may God take his divine sword and cut it away from you and from me, so that we may, before our physical death, we may die to this nothingness, to this old man, old self in us, so that the new self, the new man, the resurrected one, the saint whom God created every single one of us to be, may be revealed. God bless you, my brothers and my sisters. Amen. Amen. Amen.